Hey guys, this is Kirob speaking, and in today's episode of Great Engineer, Terrible Driver, we are going to design a 1975 family wagon in automation and hot lap it in BeamNG.drive on the automation test track. What driver score will I achieve today? We shall find out. Oh my, the first thing that comes into view is already pretty much perfect. That's pretty good. Let's see, do we have anything else? Oh, no, this one is also nice. 2.7 meters wheelbase, 2.7 meters wheelbase. I think this one looks a bit more 80s, while this one looks a little bit more late 70s. It still has some roundness to it. While this one is straight up like 80s Volvo style boxy car. So which one are we going for? Well, the year would more fit this one, but this one, it would get out in the late 70s, early 80s, with engineering and everything. I think I'm going with the boxy one. We've had some round designs before, and we also had the conveyor Maximus, but that was 2 episodes ago. So let's do another boxy one. The family wagon. Design decisions. They have to be made. Panel material is easy. Steel. We are going cheap. Very cheap. And we are going monocoque because it's a family car. And we're going galvanized because we are cheap. And we are going... I think that one would maybe be front wheel drive. If it's like modern style. If it's more classic style, it would be front longitudinal. We have not done a front-wheel drive car yet, have we? I don't believe we have. Alright, this is interesting. Well, we can switch a little later, but let's go with front transverse. Suspension, oh, that is an interesting choice. It is family utility after all. So maybe we should go with something cheap up front and then do solid axle. Because that gives us all the load capacity. But I think I want to compromise a little bit to get not the maximum amount of load capacity, because it's still a family car. You don't need to transport your whole house, so that's fine. Coil has a bit better comfort, which also is important for... yeah, production units, yeah, okay. Sportiness not quite as bad. And off-road is better. Well, we don't really need the off-road. It's more compact too. Yeah, we're going with this one. Oh, but now... oh, what kind of engine would be in this car? Well, probably a reasonably large inline 4 or an inline 6 that is really lazy. Or maybe a Boxer 4. I think I want to be a little different. I want to be a little different with this car. This is certainly an alternative route to take. It is feasible for a family car because it is a lot smoother than the standard competition of an inline 4. And, I mean, it is slightly heavier. But we don't really care, do we, for a family utility vehicle? It's heavy anyway. This must be one of my favorite choices. Overhead cam, 3-valve. I love it. But this car might still have... oh no, wait a second. This is where emission laws are starting. So they do want to add valves in order to cut that down to get better intake. Spread of the fuel mixture. But how large do we want this to be? 1.8? I think 1.8 is enough. Cast, and because emissions, hyperprotected cast. By the way, just thinking of it, this is very European style. This is very European style. Family utility vehicle. This is not a large engine. I'm aware of that. Maybe we should go a bit larger. How about a 2.2 liter? I think that is more reasonable. Yeah, it is more reasonable. That was 1.8 is probably a bit too small for how much carrying capacity we want to give this thing. Oh, now, of course, no injection available. 1 4-barrel carb on top to have at least something a little bit modern. 1 barrel per cylinder. Fuel mixture. I think we want to run this thing lean on average. So how about a 14.5? We don't want to kill all sportiness, but yeah, around there might be okay. Let's tune the ignition timing to 3000 RPM for now, and the rev limiter at 5.2. Short cast, that is a lot of power. We probably don't need quite as much. 155, yeah, that might be in the ballpark. Of course, not quite now. I'm thinking like a gut feel of like 110 horsepower, something like that. 120 max. So, catalytic converter, no thank you very much. That is terrible. And we are going with a single reverse flow muffler. And we have knocking issues. That's fine. Ooh, that's just 95 horsepower right there. Very beautiful torque curve though. It's like accessible everywhere. But don't forget, I mean, this is still the time where they had basically no power whatsoever, those vehicles. So this might not be too terrible. But my 1.8 would definitely have been a little too small. Not enough power. So I'm quite happy with these settings. We are close to the 91 run, obviously. Can up the... Oh yeah, 97. So much power! How much can we rev? Oh, there comes the valve float. We can rev all the way there. That's a nice, well, it's not nice. Power just drop is dead up there. The torque curve just goes straight down. And the exhaust, how limiting is it? Let's have a quick test. This is looking good. And now let's have a listen. Oh, well, it's a little grumbly. Yes, I like that. So if we compare this is pretty heavy, and it's full iron block. If we compare this to an inline 4, so we have our engine here. Let's hold the engine and then just switch over to inline 4 and get rid of that knock. Why is it knocking? Ah, because they are further away from the carb, maybe? Yeah, that must be it. Alright, so we need lower compression. Well, there's not much difference between the inline 4 and the Boxer 4. Slightly better performance, it looks like. And that is due to higher compression that I can run. And then we have the weight. Yeah, it's just slightly heavier, as expected, but ever so slightly. The biggest difference really is the smoothness value. And the production units. And the... what do we have here? Material costs. Where's service costs here? Oh no, they're almost the same. That is probably because this is still not filling the engine bay much at all. If you start to fill the engine bay with the Boxer engine, then you start having a lot of servicing costs at your hand. That is not a good choice then. But if it's sitting there in the engine bay all alone, I cry every time, yes, then it really doesn't matter. So now that the engine is out of the way, let's head over to the design. And yes, a wagon it is. Oh, it's a big one. It is a big, clunky wagon. Yeah, that should be pretty easy to design, I would think. But also, it might look very, very bog standard. But that is good for mediocre designs of wagons. You don't want to stick out, really, do you? All the design of fixtures and paint and stuff is coming later. Transfers, front wheel drive. I think we give this an automatic. And we want to have reasonably low spacing. because of the utility application. We do want to have a low first gear without actually having a low box. Yes, we are going to use an open diff. What else? And we don't have the speed limiter option, but we don't really need it because this car doesn't go fast at all. Radial tires, hard long life, yes. And do we need more than 185s roughly? I doubt we do. So let's go equal size front and rear. How much does it cost us? Ooh, 528. In 75, yeah, well, the radials are still pretty expensive back then, so, but totally worth it. Right now we have a profile of 70. I think that is adequate. Could go a little lower to 80, but then we don't fit any brakes in there, and brakes we need. Such a car would probably only have solid discs, but I'm not the average car here, not the average car designer. I think a car like this should have vented discs up front, and then in the rear probably small-ish one-piston solid discs. And the pad type, well, a family vehicle would be around 30 for the optimum there. And I think we want to be a little more towards the sporty side because we are more to the utility side. We want to get rid of that utility application brake fade. Under tray, nothing really needed. And cooling airflow, yeah. I think you need quite a bit. Let's go 75. 3 rows are available, but how many seats do we want to put in? 5, because it's family. Family needs 5 seats. We could, of course, put a +2 in here. Do we need a +2? That is something to investigate, if we really want that or not. For now, I will leave it at 5. Standard AM radio. I think they think this is super outdated. But look at this extra cost! Oh my god! The standard 8-track is super expensive. At this point in time, at least. 75, yeah. The radio, not so much. We can still even put in the phonograph. Power steering needed. Yes. Yeah, there we go. And safety, well, it's family vehicle. You don't want, you wouldn't want your kids to get hurt after a long journey in a hot car like this. No, not at all. So yeah, I think we put in, despite that solid argument, we put in advanced safety for the 70s. But now the progressive springs, yes. They virtue signal every day on Twitter. So there we go, very progressive. Then gas monotube, highly advanced. And well, look, Dr. Killbob. Dr. Killbob has managed to get it right from the start. This is correct, yes. We can pin the topmost item. We did well. But the suspension setup is looking very much sports hypercar. That's not good. So I'm going with the normal tune. And then I just stiffen it up slightly from here, I believe. This is looking pretty reasonable for ride height. We do maybe want a little extra because of the load capacity. And now let's check out the markets. Oh, this is looking nice. We're doing well. And this is the untuned build of this car. So let's check out our top speed. Yep. Yeah, this is looking good. Approximately 1 overdrive gear. Could go a little bit higher even. And then for the tires, I mean, this setup is working. We don't want to have uneven sized tires. And this is doing pretty well. The drivability line is close. I think the rest is going to be done with suspension tuning. Unless we want to go one larger here. But that would make it straighter and more sporty. But 175s might be a viable choice. Let's see. Oh yes, it is. I actually enjoy the smaller, cheaper tires. because we are really skating the line there. 57%. That is too expensive, yo. That is way too expensive. Okay. Let's first take a look at the braking. That's looking good. It's a decent setup for a car like this. 58 meters, no brake fade. That sounds awesome. Oh yes, now we need to check out if the +2 option is even better. Yep, they do love it. They do love it because practicality is now through the fucking roof. But 3 in the back is not so much a good choice. So yeah, this is our setup. 5+2. And now we need to get rid of the standard 8-track. I believe they think we're completely out of our minds. Oh yes, that is a big impact. They like it cheaper. And even cheaper, the basic AM radio is perfectly fine. I mean, if you're going to play children's songs on this all day long anyway, who cares for high fidelity? Even better, because even cheaper is basic interior and basic AM radio. Make it very affordable. So now we only have a little bit more tuning to do. That shouldn't be too hard. And we still have a roll angle of 4 degrees. Well, that tells me that we need less sway bars. Less sway bars is always good. So let me just reduce that. And there we go. Down, down, down. That is looking great. No sway bars in the rear. Yeah, getting close. Drivability, 98.6% for the handling. We actually need no camber. Because who needs camber? Look at it. But maybe a bit more damper. Front and rear. Yeah, oh yeah. They are appreciating that. And I think I'm done here. I'm really happy with this setup. How much load capacity do we have? 450 kilograms. Well, you could argue that that is not that much. And you would be right. So we can either increase the rear stiffness or make the whole car higher. Yeah, but I mean that completely destroys our setup. But this would make it somewhat better for actually driving under load. Because, fun story, I finally figured out why my sister and I, on our way to holidays, long family holidays, back in the day when we were small children, we were sitting in the back of the car and it was loaded to the brim. And, yeah, why did we always have to vomit? All the time, but never during normal family trip driving where we didn't have luggage with us? The answer is ride frequency. Because if you load this shit down, then it goes from 1.78 here to 1.24, which in this case is perfectly fine. But if we put it back to where it was, I think it was somewhere here. Yes, it was. Then, all of a sudden, oh well, no, it doesn't show that nicely in this one. But if your ride frequency drops below 1 Hertz, then people get seasick. And that is not nice. And you can get that ride frequency if you just weigh it down in the rear. But not so much in the front, because in the front there's no luggage, no extra luggage. That's just normal. So yeah, fun thing. If you want to make people puke in the rear, just load it down a bit. Okay, a bit more tweaking here, slightly higher ride height. I mean, it's a large car, it can be a little higher. Yeah, it still doesn't look too ridiculous. That's fine. Okay, I'm happy. Let's take a look at the markets. The markets say, oh, the markets love the car. It is very green. And now that we have all the technical design out of the way, why not get to the proper visual design, Killrob style, as awkward as ever. Let's start. And here we have it. Finally, it is done. It took ages. I thought this would be an easy design. But look at all the detail. Look at all the detail. It's not the prettiest of things, but I think it is well designed. Oh my god. It took so long. But it is done. The Fisher Cardio WB4 with the Quad B4U engine, the 2200 ENA. Yeah, that's it. It's certainly looking like a proper family utility vehicle, doesn't it? And I'm satisfied with the design. Lots of design recalls from front to back. Some nice chrome lining. I mean, we're still in the 70s after all. And the AM radio has its little antenna up front, baked in the indicator there, in the side grille, with a bit of chrome lining underneath. I think that looks good. This one is 3 different badges put together, because, I mean, Fisher. This looks like a fish skeleton, almost. That's maybe not the best brand symbol. Yes, and our CEO is a cat. And we don't even have a cat on here. No, we don't. Yes, central opener for the rear boot, and somewhat central brake lights, because that's a design recall from the front, with the lights being on the inside here. I think that's fancy. So yeah, I'm happy with it. I am very happy with it. And now we need to do 2 things, and that is to export and to send it on the test track. But once again, oh, these markets, so beautiful. Wow, this thing is lightweight. Huh. Below 1.2 tons. That's awesome. Okay. And there it goes. So much acceleration. It sounds like a much smaller car because of the Boxer 4. Massive amounts of speed. Oh my god. We're doing so much. 155 through there, through the slingshot, not even lifting off. And we are across the line in 3:04:46. And there we have it, the Fisher Cardio. Look how pretty it is. Look how pretty it is. Yeah, it gets transported over just nice. Just fine, apart from the number plates being a little funky. But, come on. Oh, yes, it's all working as intended. Beautiful. So, now I'm going to do a little test drive with this one, and I'm going to assume that our Shit-O-Matic has no sports mode. Oh, it even says there's no S mode. There's only a 1 and M isn't available either. Okay, D mode it is. Alright, well, this vehicle doesn't handle well on the racetrack. My god. It just is a front-wheel drive vehicle, but very much so. As soon as you try to accelerate, it just straightens out of corners. You just can't. You just can't. It's quite terrible. It is a perfect cruiser. If you go slow, it's so beautiful. It is such a beautiful car. But yeah, you shall see. You shall see. I have even resorted at some points to using the handbrake. Well, yeah, because otherwise it doesn't get around fucking corners. Well, yeah, let's start. Alright, here we go. Start, load the torque converter, and go! Oh my god, the acceleration. Okay, Ibbits and S's. Here we go. Soft braking and in. Yeah, oh, good line. Good line. Yes! Oh, that was my best try so far. Taking this wide, Everton S3, coming up to Brian's Bend, taking a wide line. We shouldn't have to lift off here. Let's see, yeah, it's looking good. Steering getting a little whooshy, and hard braking, and Did we make it? Yes. Oh, just barely. Okay, carousel. Don't go too hard. This car wants to cruise. Yes. Yes, wobbly, wobbly. Full throttle. And the long way down this to the slingshot. Let's see about our top speed. I think it will be exactly 150 kilometers now. Slingshot, full throttle, no lifting off here at 150. Oh my god! Oh, the tension in the driving wheel. Oh, no, it's fine. This is actually not a problem. Especially with hydraulic. Oh shit! Now Bavarian bend. Scary corner. Stay on throttler. Stay on throttler. Stay on throttler. No. Brake. 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 Yes. And straighten out. As soon as the rear goes out, just hit the throttle and the car straightens out. That's the beauty of front wheel drive, right? Okay, kill rope chicane. Are you going to fuck me up today as well? And oh, hard braking. Hard braking. This is a slow corner. Oh yeah, that was good. Good line. Oh, lots of steering. And full throttle. Okay, this corner is nasty. Nasty. Can't take it as fast as you think you can. Yes. Go on. Just doesn't want to go around. Yeah, we did it. And Cossack, just a tap on the brake here. We don't need much. Come on, go around, car. Yeah, good line. And out of here. Final corner, Lamb's Hope. And brake. And out. Yes. Good line, a little slow, but here we come to the line. This looks like a above 100 score. And yes, we did it. Nice. A 3:00:98. And in the background, we are crashing. Boo! Whoa! Oh no! Poor little car! Whoa! Parts are flying away. And we are back in automation with the results. And what did we get? An astounding result. On the automation test track, this car did it in 3 minutes, 4 seconds, and 46. And I did drive it around the automation test track in BeamNG in 3 minutes, 00:98. And that leaves us with a driver score of 101.9. It is a fantastic car, very good at cruising, not so much for racing, but at least it didn't die in brake fade. As always, you can download this cars.car file in the description down below, and I hope you enjoyed, and see you guys next time.